the other thing, now that we are discussing these things, and can we, with our experience, both at the boards, at NDA, right? I'm sure, you would have your course-mates who had hardly played any game, or, worthwhile, you can, who can be called a sportsman or something. But very important is what we also see is whether the guy is inclined to do these things. So, like, that famous Titan tagline: if you have the inclination, we have the time, right? So the person has to be interested. He has to be inclined to learn things. There's no one is. We don't expect Neeraj Chopra kind of people, coming into SSBs. No, we are saying anybody who's coming and he's keen to learn. He has his interest, his inclination is there towards, learning things. And yes, in many cases, people don't get opportunities. But if the opportunity, small or big, it has been there, and he has shown that inclination to participate in that. It can be, kho-kho, it can be kabaddi. I said, school mein hamare kuch hota nahi tha. I said, kabaddi
जी
to
सर
कुछ रेस एनुअल डे में किसी दिन फंक्शन होता है, कुछ तो होता होगा. And if you don't have any interest, no inclination towards this, then any amount of other qualities may not really be good enough if you don't have the interest. And I keep often citing one of the cases where in one of the standardizations which happened in Bangalore. So there was one candidate who had been brilliantly coached, very capable candidate. Psychs had cleared him, all Psychs, almost, except one or who just kept him borderline. Otherwise, all Psychs had cleared him, all GTOs had cleared him. None of the IOs cleared him. None of the IOs. Lacking interest and motivation. Ultimately, of course, the chap got dropped because the original assessors, board assessors, they had decided on this, not to be taken. But yeah, what the point I'm trying to highlight is the inclination, the interest in
करेक्ट
doing certain things or learning things, or moving forward, being open to ideas, open to learning. That is so crucial, because everyone may not have the opportunity. We understand as IOs. I think we understand it better because we go through their life history. We understand कि ठीक है, उसके पास में opportunities ही नहीं थी, तो what can he really do? But जो भी छोटी opportunity थी, उसने उसको use किया. I mean, if we find that something like this, so in the coming back to that mentoring part, and when we coaching or guiding people in the institutes and all, if I've seen it myself that by rekindling this kind of a awareness and interest in life outside the books, people do come up, and then they do realize that at least that they are open to the idea, yes, we can do this. And some of them also start picking up certain hobbies, or start playing certain games. I mean, one can start anytime. So I feel that that is where some of the coaching institutes, where residential जहाँ पे है बच्चे आपके साथ में रहते हैं for some time, these are the things which can definitely be impressed upon them, and they have shown improvement. There's absolutely no doubt. May not be immediately in that SSB, maybe after some time, but yes, that thing has been triggered at that time. And it stays with them, because इतना उन्होंने किसी ने बताया ही नहीं है, बुक्स के अलावा तो और कुछ बात होती ही नहीं है. In many of such cases, I'm saying, where there is guy is very, very competitive as far as the academics are concerned. So this is my experience, and I'm sure Abhi, if you can just throw some light on these candidates, that one day they come to you and stay with you, and you have an interaction with them. How is it that what you find are the things which perhaps they can improve, and what they have improved because of this intervention or interaction that you have had with them. Calming the nerves is a very important thing, just before the SSB. That itself is something very, very great. So if you can just share your experience.
सर हिंदी में एक कहावत है, जब जागे तभी सवेरे.
Absolutely.
So at any point of your life, if one can really understand this shortcoming that one has. Now, you rightly said, we are not looking for Sachin Tendulkar, Neeraj Chopra. We need a person. I have personally not played any game that I can really boast of. But yes, I've been actively involved in the sense I enjoyed going out down to the field, being with friends, maybe हॉकी नहीं आती थी सर, कभी नहीं देखी थी. क्रिकेट थोड़ा बहुत खेलते थे तो हॉकी के शॉट भी क्रिकेट की तरह लगाते थे. तो ऑल दैट थिंग वाज देयर. सो इन द सिमिलर मैनर आई फाउंड. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली व्हाट हैपेंस, lot of candidates start developing hobby for the sake of getting into the defense forces.
और PIQ में डालने के लिए.
बस PIQ में डालने के लिए. Now remember, I will say the basic step is wrong. Bhai mere, develop a hobby, it will help you enhance your personality. It is, we are not, you're not writing your hobbies and interests in impressing. Now there is a column in PIQ forms where is outstanding achievement. Now, outstanding achievement में क्या लिखना है candidate? Participation.
Yeah.
If that means you have not even understood what is outstanding achievement, yeah, participation is not outstanding. Yes, I played game, played at casual level, no outstanding achievement, and I'm proud of it. यार मैंने नहीं है, मेरे को नहीं मिला, just too bad.
खेले तो हैं, खेले हैं. So this is the, ये इनकी देन है जो आपके YouTube गुरुज हैं और नो सच काइंड ऑफ पीपल, उनको ये बुलाया. एंड आई कीप आस्किंग, आई सेड यार ये क्या लिखा है तुमने, पार्टिसिपेटेड एज आउटस्टैंडिंग अचीवमेंट. सर वो सर थे, उन्होंने बोला था कि कोई कॉलम खाली नहीं छोड़ना है. मैंने कहा खाली नहीं छोड़ना, इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी अनाप शनाप कुछ भी लिख दोगे तुम उसमें. सो दिस इज अनफॉर्चुनेट.
इसके साथ जैसे पोजीशन ऑफ रिस्पांसिबिलिटी, व्हाट इज द पोजीशन ऑफ रिस्पांसिबिलिटी? आई वाज अ विकेट कीपर इन क्रिकेट. अबे भाई मेरे, तेरा सिलेक्शन इसलिए हुआ कि बिकॉज़ यू आर अ विकेट कीपर. So it is not position of responsibility. Yes, of course, position of responsibility is that if you have become a team captain, obviously it's a position of responsibility. If you are a house captain, you are a class monitor, it is a position of responsibility. So just to fill up there, you write that as a wicketkeeper. And games and sports also being shown as hobbies and interests sometimes. Also, if your hobby and interest can be your game or sport, if you are a professional player, then yes, I can understand that. Yeah, you are a professional billiard player, snooker player, or a table tennis player. Then it becomes maybe your hobby also playing table tennis. But if you are a casual player of tennis, how can tennis be then your hobby and interest? So I have, sir, always tried and made them realize that, look, be truthful. Don't ever fill up these things to impress the assessors. Because obviously, how do I check? How do I understand what you have written is correct or not correct? A lot of candidates come prepared. They write reading books. Then they will come prepared with 4 or 5 books names. And the monk who sold his Ferrari, the alchemist, and some more books of Tale of Two Cities and all that. So they don't realize that questions will be asked just to understand whether you have really read. Now, if a person who's really played a game or played or read a book, the way he will tackle a question, his body language, his level of confidence will tell me कि ये बंदा सच बोल रहा है. ठीक है, not everything. Sometimes it does happen. It slips your mind. If you don't remember the name of the author, one can understand that. But the way you tackle it, पता लग जाएगा यार तू झूठ बोल रहा है कि सच बोल रहा है. So why tell it lie? कहते ना झूठ के पैर नहीं होते सर, और सांच को आँच नहीं होती. So I always try and emphasize, be yourself, and your attitude when you go into the SSB is, sir, this is me. I always say you help yourself if you help the assessors understand you. Because there's nobody who's a better assessor of your personality than you yourself. If you can understand your own self and go with that attitude, you say, yeah, ma'am, I haven't played too many games. I haven't taken too many responsibilities. I was never interested. I was a very, I'll say, medium type of a student, but I have interest in this field. I have interest in this field. You find me suitable, take me. Otherwise, I'm sure the life is open. Late Dr. APJ Kalam, when he didn't make it into the technical entry into the Air Force, he went on to become the supreme commander of the forces that rejected him actually.
Yes.
So you maybe there's something else meant for you. You're not cut out for this way of life. So therefore, don't artificially try and make yourself suitable for this way of life. If you have it in you, it comes naturally. It will come. And remember, sir, as you are saying, we are only looking at a person trying to understand what does he have, not what he does not have. And a lot of the time people are wanting to cover what they do not have. तो उसकी तरफ ज्यादा उनका फोकस रहता है कि यार ये कहीं इसको ये ना पता लग जाए कि मेरे अंदर so which is what causes all this anxiety. Person should have faith in his capabilities, should have faith in his abilities. Very important. I may not be a very good speaker, sir. मैं नहीं बोल पाता अंग्रेजी में बहुत अच्छे से, लेकिन मैं ये समझता हूँ कि मेरे आइडियाज ये हैं. If you give me your ideas, I think English we will teach you. हमने सबसे साइंस स्कूल ज्वाइन किया था सर, कहाँ अंग्रेजी भूली जाती थी. Because unfortunately in our society, majority of us come from backgrounds where English is not the way we speak at home.
Yes.
So भाई सभी को यूपी में इसीलिए लोगों को प्रॉब्लम होती है कि भाई हमारी भाषा ही नहीं, जो है हमारी भाषा अलग है, लेकिन उस भाषा में आप कैसे अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करते हो इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू मी. बिकॉज आई इज नॉट द भाषा दैट आई एम वरीड अबाउट द क्वालिटी ऑफ थॉट्स दैट इज देयर इन योर माइंड. सो मेरे सर एम हमेशा यही रहा है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई थिंक 2 weeks time for a candidate to really understand if he is an intelligent candidate, like they say, the person who has that ability to analyze himself, ability to grasp things, to learn. Somebody who is a quick learner, he straight away learns यार ये सिस्टम अलग तरीके का है भाई, इसमें मैं मेरी it is my practical knowledge is more important than my bookish knowledge. Then slowly and slowly the confidence comes in. But I know it is easier said than done. That anxiety is also there, but that anxiety sometimes is required also, because we don't want dead people there, sir.
Absolutely.
A lot of your shortcomings are overcome by your enthusiasm, by your energy level. Because when you sit in front of it's a natural fact that everybody gives out certain amount of frequencies. Your wives, if you are a confident person, if you're a knowledgeable person, your wives by themselves start showing yes, there is something, but bande mein abhi anxiety hai. And all assessors try and make a candidate comfortable, so that
before we start the interview or even with the GT or whatever it is.
Yes. So that a person gives out his best. We are interested in seeing the real you and not the artificial you. And majority of the candidates, unfortunately, they try and put up shows thinking that they will impress the assessor. When they are under observation, then they are chatak. जब नहीं है तो अपना आराम से बैठे हुए हैं. So this sort of attitude, actually, I've seen it as a assessor in that system. And now I see here and also when you are in that class of say 10 to 15 candidates, there are candidates who are still wanting to impress. I said there's no need to impress. There's no need to impress. Understand the nuance. By your impressing the assessor, you don't get through. There are 3 of them, and you cannot put up a show for 5 days. That you are there. So be natural. कहते हैं झूठ के पैर नहीं होते भैया, सांझ को आज नहीं, सच्चे रहोगे तो you don't have to. The good thing about truth is you don't have to remember it.
Yes.
Because it will automatically come. Whereas you will have to remember, यार मैंने पहले क्या बताया था, इसका reaction मैंने पहले कैसे किया था, वही similar situation you might react differently. So you will contradict yourself. So this is what we try and tell them, that be natural, be this thing. I have done a lot of these boys who come to me. I realize this, that some of, I'll say it is just about 50% who still get to that, because unfortunately they don't want to believe it is so simple.
Yes. वो पूरे सिस्टम ने ऐसे बना दिया है. YouTube हवा एक बना रखा है. I always keep saying, SSB is easy to crack if you are at ease with yourself. You have to be at ease with yourself. और उसी के लिए like some kind of जैसे एक mentorship की होगी, या थोड़ी सी इस तरह की बातें अगर हो गई जो आपको थोड़ा सा आपकी nerves को थोड़ा सा काम कर सकती हैं. I think that's I'm sure it must be helping a lot of candidates that come to you for a day's stay or something before the SSB. The other thing which I would also like to highlight is that candidates को ऐसा नहीं समझना चाहिए. The assessor or the IO is so naive that he doesn't read through what you are saying. I also tell them, I said, okay, the IO will say, okay, आपने झूठ बोला और आप बड़े confidently झूठ बोल रहे हो, तो IO भी उतने confidently बोलते, अच्छा, really, very nice, very nice. Or tell me more about it. Right? जब आप वो मोर बताने लगते हो तब आप और फंसते जाते हो, या फिर वो थोड़ी देर बाद में जब आप उसी तरह की चीज वापस लेके आते हो, that's what when we are winding up and उस टाइम पे बात कर रहे हैं, उस टाइम by the way you mentioned something like that ऐसे करके, और वो उस टाइम उसने क्या बोला था, because वो 30-40 minutes is actually so intense for the candidate. He really can't remember कि मैंने उस टाइम पे क्या गोली फेंकी थी. So I think the candidates, they need to understand this and be like I tell them, we don't expect you to be Raja Harishchandra. We don't really expect you to be Satyavadi Harishchandra कि आपको बिल्कुल 100% सच बोलना है. But as far as possible, be as truthful as you can be. Right? So थोड़ा सा वो चीज ध्यान रखो, और अगर ये चीजें इनको बता दी जाए, and if the candidates behave in a more natural way, of course, they are there to present their best self. But yeah, as far as possible, if they are, being themselves, the assessors, I'm sure, assessors के headache बहुत कम हो जाएंगे.
सही बात है सर, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही बात है.
टाइम तो उसको अनमास्क करने में लग जाता है. But anyway, I think that's been a very enlightening and informative, I would say, discussion that we have had.
It is very rarely, sir, two interviewing officers sit together and talk. And I must admire your patience that having been at it for so long, yet you gave me such a patient hearing. And I hope it is of use. No, what the basic aim of this union together was to bring it across to the candidate that beta, it is not a hua. It is a simple testing procedure. It is you candidates who have complicated it by thinking too much about it. And by being guided by so-called YouTube gurus and those people who haven't even had an experience in the SSB, don't even know what does the SSB full form stand for. And yet they think that they are the mentors and they are trying to educate in a wrong way. And I think as long as the person can realize this point, I think so, the message would have gone very clearly.
No, I'm sure, and let me also congratulate you on this very, I would say a very noble initiative that you've taken of having this, SSB dormitory, a stay just for a day, and it. People are looking for facilities like this, close to the SSB. आपको और क्या चाहिए? Close to the SSB, and then your evening you are having a chat session. It's not a very formal session that you are having an interview or something like that. It's a very informal kind of a thing where you are put at ease, and I'm sure so many people would have already benefited. And
I see what happens is, sir, these children, when they come, I'm so many times surprised that we don't even go through the call-up instruction very carefully. Absolutely. And when they come here, at least they're together. So they're together. So I tell them, look at each other's document. They want me to see the document. I say, look at each other's document. दूसरे की गलती जल्दी पकड़ में आती है. तो आप जब दूसरे की पकड़ते हो तो गलती तो आपको समझ आता है, यार ये तो मैंने भी नहीं किया. Then you start. So a lot of times there have been times a candidate has come, say for technical entry or for TGC entry. बंदे के पास उसकी अपनी application की copy नहीं है. Now at 5 o'clock in the morning he tells me, sir, I need a printout of my thing. मैंने कहा बेटा कल बताया था ना तुमको कि that you must have it. So at 5 o'clock there have been times that I've got a printout for him. Luckily I have a printer, so I give him a printout so that he done, because at the SSB they'll say nahi hai to jao kara ke leke aao. Absolutely. In fact, at 5 o'clock in the morning, who will give you a printout? So
the worst thing is to get sent back for want of documents.
Correct. Documents ke bare
mein can't be anything worse than that. Yes.
Correct. That you come all the distance and you find that your documents are not complete. So at least when you are in the dormitory, that satisfaction that nobody gets documented out.
Absolutely.
Now there are things which we cannot help. Like there are times when I've said, यार तुम्हारे पास अगर 12th का सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है तो एटलीस्ट डिजी लॉकर से निकालो. Fortunately, now the SSB accepts DigiLocker certified documents
Yes.
also. So वो चलो उसी से लेके, but at least लेके तो जाओ यार. तुम
एटलीस्ट
लेके
पता
क्या
तो हो
12th का?
आपके, आप
हाँ,
बोलोगे वहां मेरे पास है ही नहीं
है ही
है,
नहीं.
एंड देन नो
अगर
वन
आप
हैज टाइम टू गिव यू दैट मच ऑफ
करेक्ट
लीवे कि भाई आप ऐसे करो.
करेक्ट.
So
तो
I think these are certain, yeah, I mean, this is a very good point that you're bringing out,
and also sir, I'll tell you also
preparing
sir.
candidates to just, present themselves with whatever necessary documents, etc., they are supposed to be having.
Correct. Very nice interacting with you, sir. I'm actually rejuvenated and again feeling good. Those old memories and sitting with you was a real good pleasure.
Thank you very much, Colonel Pankaj, and it's been a pleasure for me too, hosting you for this wonderful conversation. And I'm sure the candidates would find it very, very informative, and I hope they take a leaf or two out of it. So thank you very much, and Jai Hind.